Ciel, you told me you've been with these boys for a very long time.
Yes.
That's a big video. So how did you make that connection? How did you guys all meet?
Well, I can start with this real quick. A number of years ago, we did a music video, which is the whole seed of this project. The music video was designed to look like the trailer to a very high-end fantasy motion picture. And Jay and I, as producers on that, needed our star for it, and we met Ciel, cast her in it, and the rest is history. So it probably for the first time in Hollywood history, a motion picture has come from a music video. And then we did a follow-up music video called Lightspeed. And then we did Empire Queen, The Golden Age of Magic, and that's where we are now. So we've known each other for quite a long time and have worked together now for quite a number of years. And that really cemented the synergy and the connectedness between all of us.
You both of you are directing and you wrote this project. That's a lot of hats to wear all at the same
Yeah.
time. Please share with me, how do you like toggle between that moment of writing and then directing? What was that like for each one of you?
Well, there was a lot more hats that we wore in addition to those as well. I mean, we were actually quite a small team in pulling this off. So we were a very humble crew, and we had a lot more cast members than we did crew members, that's for sure. Chris and I would take turns, running camera. We would get together, every week we'd be writing new scenes together, and then just pulling together, the production, the costumes, locations. I mean, we were just running like chickens with our heads cut off, quite honestly, for a number of years, because it took a little while. We were a pandemic movie. And so, yeah, it's a lot of hustle, and, you do things just because there's no one else to get it done, or it's not in the budget. And so you just take it upon yourself to get clever in a lot of situations of like, how do we accomplish this, given our limited set of resources?
We filmed 100 days on this motion picture, which is a lot for an independent. We shot in Portland and Los Angeles, all over California, really, and a little bit of second unit in Hawaii. We have a wonderful team that a lot of people were with us from the very beginning. As mentioned, Ciel was on Shine On Me, the music video, and Mary Elise Hayden, who's our main villain, she was on that too. And some of our crew folks transferred over. We just have a wonderful, small, tight-knit family that we're hoping to keep going with this. We're hoping to do a sequel, and I think we all want to just work with the same people over and over again and keep refining what we're doing.
Ciel, when you got the script, what was the journey for you? You were like, what were you thinking when you read it? Were you thinking, oh my God, are they crazy? Can I do this? Like, what were your thoughts?
I did think they were a little crazy, but that's just because I've known them for so long, and they were my friends first. Because I think I went to Warner Brothers to audition for a commercial, and I met them there that day, and then we all became good friends. And a little while later, Chris was casting for the music video, and so yeah, I did think they were a little nutty, but in a very good way. I mean, I'm nutty too, so we're very creative. We're just creative types. So I thought it was absolutely insane and wild, and I loved it. I was like, all right, I'm on board. I don't know what's going to come of this, but you know what? I like hanging out with you guys, and so why not?
And I think what she means to say is what script? Actually, we started
Right.
a concept, and we had an outline, and we knew where the story needed to go. But we weren't really sure how big of a project we were willing to tackle and what we were actually capable of. So we did a couple of test scenes early on and realized that it was possible to do something marginally ambitious, but it wasn't until after we went to Portland and did some filming there that we realized that the scope could be so much larger than what we had originally anticipated. So then we set about refining all of the plot points in the story, and we had our big pillars of action that we wanted to definitely hit, but then it's connecting each of the sequences to each other. And oftentimes we'd be writing the week before, filling in some of the blanks or just refining some concepts. And then, much to Ciel's chagrin, she would get those pages first thing in the morning when we were about ready to shoot.
You have photographic memory, Ciel, that you were able to like nail those scenes so quickly?
Oh no, you know what? I really do not. I have ADD, so I have like the worst memory in the world. So it was a miracle. I got a lot of help from them. I don't know how we did it, but we pulled it off, and it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of laughs.
Well, it looks epic. and I can't imagine the work that went into it. And Jason, did you break any bones? Because you did a lot of falling, a lot of physical stuff. And I was like, wait a minute.
I actually I torqued
So,
my shoulder quite good. There was a
did you have a
tumble.
stunt person? I mean,
Uh,
I will
no,
tell you,
I do
Yeah,
I do
it
all
was
my own
me.
stunts.
we filmed we filmed a cave sequence where Jay is being attacked by the cave phantom, and he was on a kind of a pillar and rolled backwards off of it. And it was a I don't even know how he survived it, but it was like an 8-foot drop, but it seemed to wedge him between something. I thought, oh my gosh, we just killed Jay.
Yeah,
Did we get it on camera? Okay,
right.
good. We killed Jay. Oh my God. And he was such a trooper, but I was very fearful when that happened. We did do our own stunts largely, and I think all of us had some kind of injuries. I know when Ciel was doing her wand battle with Mary, she got some scrapes, and
I
she
have a
was a.
scar.
You do
I
really?
still have the scar. I think, and
Wow.
we all almost died. We all had
That's
a
right.
day on the set where it's like we almost died.
there was a lot of falling, and Jason, when you're on that tree with the trap, and you're on with your leg, and you're like, oh my God.
That's right. And
That was a
I'm
rough
wearing
one.
this black armor through the whole thing, and I fell when we were in Portland on rocks. And I'm so glad that I was wearing what I was wearing, because I was kind of like a turtle upside down. And I think that everyone was worried for me because it was very spiky. But fortunately, I had all that you needed to keep me from harm.
Mm. Well, let's talk about the cinematography, because so much of a good film is basically those shots and how to get us engaged. So you had a lot of different shots, and so what was that like for you in picking the right person to work on that team with the cinematography?
Sure. I mean, Jay was one of our main cinematographers in the film. He has a great eye. He's a licensed drone pilot. He upped camera and was right there with the actors so many times. So that was a real blessing for the project. We had 2 other people that also did additional cinematography. And so the combination of elements, along with Jay's drone work, I think really gave us a special look. I'm just so proud of it. I think it's one of the great comments we always get is how beautiful the film looks, and we're very appreciative of that one.
A lot of that has to do with the locations. We were very selective with our locations, and so if you select beautiful locations, it's a lot easier to get a great shot.
Well, the locations were fabulous. I mean, the drone
Thank
shots
you.
and the rooms and the castle shots. I'm just like, okay. And what I think is important, you have so many different factors and sensibility with the story. So you've got the action, you've got the comedy, you've got the bonding, you've got the fantasy. So it kind of fits everybody's sensibility. For you, each one of you, what drives you the most when it comes to doing something like this? I know I loved it, I enjoyed it, but what do you want and hope that when other people watch this and more people watch it, what do you want us to take away from this?
I mean, I know for me, having started out with a music video, it was, I wanted to communicate a universe that was kind of in my imagination initially with all these characters. But when it came time to contextualize what you'd seen before in the music video, translate that to dialogue, action, and character arcs, I wanted people to enjoy it as much as we did making it. And first of all, have it be fun, because I love movies that are fun, and that the overarching storyline is about the democratization of magic, that the idea that there's something really good for every single person in this kingdom meant a lot to me to communicate. And so for my sense of it, that was a major push in terms of the storytelling. I'll let you guys share what you wanted to convey in the film.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of universal themes in this one, to your point, which is some very familiar themes. A very large inspiration was The Princess Bride. So you'll see some elements of that in there, along with Harry Potter, magic, Lord of the Rings, trekking, some Pirates of the Caribbean, swashbuckling. So it's we did hit a lot of those different elements. We've got our you must have your wise old wizard, and you've got your various characters that are mandatory in a film like this. And I really feel like we hit all of those points, so that it does speak to the audiences that love to consume these types of movies. I mean, we've got our version of Darth Vader with Lord Voss, and Mary's a very Disney villain, and Ciel's a very Disney princess. So I think that we have what what's been called a 4-quadrant film. You know, so men and women, old and young, all alike, can find a way to enjoy this one.
I think, you know, my whole motivation with wanting to be a part of creative projects, whether it be film, TV, or on the stage, I just genuinely want to allow people to escape into a different world, even if just for a little bit. You know, this life is so hard, and I think can be even harder for us, the more sensitive types. And I know that for me, you know, the art of storytelling, whether it be through, like I said, theater, watching a film, has really, really helped me a lot. You know, with the challenges in life. So for me, I just love being able to be a part of that escape for people in whatever way I can. I just love it. It's a gift.
Well, I love your interview, Chris, when you spoke with William Shatner, who's I'm a Star Trek person, so you
Oh
know.
yeah, that was fun.
And I like what you mentioned about spirituality, because you know there's so many things we don't see that's out
That's
there.
right.
I like films that allow us to have our imagination. When we dream, it's a fantasy as well. Is it real? Is it a fantasy? We don't know. So
That's right.
I like that you mentioned that. And I think it's for everybody, especially for young people as well. Just open your minds and experience something amazing, you know. So kudos to doing that. And
I
allow
really appreciate that. We
to-
put in angels in the first music video and in the second one, and it was very important for us to represent kind of a hierarchy, if you will, of realms, and that higher realm is interacting with us in our plane to guide and to assist the best they can, given that we all have to fulfill our own personal destinies. And like you said, there's invisible realms, and so that was really important to us to include that.
Well, I want to talk about the music. Okay. So how did you
Sure.
find your composer?
You know, Nick found us. We put very early on, we put up a poster, a temporary poster up on IMDb and some photographs. And he wrote to us and said, can I, have you found your composer? Can I submit some temp tracks? And he was local, which was great, because we actually did get a lot of composers globally that wrote to us, said, hey, what you're doing looks really neat. Can we get involved? We met with Nicholas Repetto. He was so passionate. You know, it's like nearly an 80-piece orchestra. It's 2 hours of original score. It's really wall-to-wall music. And we just all feel so lucky, don't we? The soundtrack CD just came out too, by the way. I'll do a little plug for that, and is available for sale. Uh, so anyhow, I'll let you guys comment on Nick, but he was delightful to work with, and he just won a Telly Award for his score, which we're very proud of him for.
I cannot speak highly enough of Nick. I think he's truly the most talented person ever. And I actually just listen to his music all the time, like cleaning my house in the car. I listen to it all the time. I'm his biggest fan.
No, he was a welcome addition to our team. He became part of the family instantly, and we couldn't be more pleased with what he delivered. You know, as an independent film and with a limited budget, you maybe you don't have the vision to see how you could possibly get a soundtrack like what Nick was able to deliver to us. He put his blood, sweat, and tears, brought some of his team members that he's worked with before into it, and really delivered well beyond what we could ever have hoped or dreamed for. I mean, we literally have a John Williams grade level score for our film.
We do. Yeah.
And it's a kind of score that you can actually just sit in an auditorium and have him play the music, and you're happy with that.
For sure. It's so colorful and diverse.
I would totally come to something like that.
I love that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, let's get him at the Disney concert hall.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, yeah.
And the visuals. So talk about the visuals, because the special effects were just really brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, that's something that you have to experiment with a little bit, wherein we first had some effects, maybe they didn't quite hit the high marks for us. We had to redo them. But in general, we probably wound up with a crew of about 20 VFX artists, and that would be around the world. You send them the plates, they come back with their version of it. Maybe you do little refinements. We didn't want an effects-driven film. We actually wanted more of a practical movie that has do little just tastes of it. Obviously with Ciel's wand magic, that was important. Her elsewhere charm when she does that. And then of course we had some green screen, but it's largely a like 90% practical movie. There's just a little bit of green screen, some castle interiors and so forth. And so we worked till we got it, till we were happy with it. I guess that would be the best way to say it.
What did you learn, not just craft-wise, but about you yourself doing this particular project?
For myself, it would be that we had the drive and the ambition to see something through that was exhausting, and it was an extensive undertaking. And honestly, I don't know if we realized what we were in for when we began those first test scenes, if we would have actually tried to attempt to accomplish it, because the scope would have seemed way too daunting for us. But looking back on that, as I'm very proud of our tenacity and our stick-to-itiveness to just see this through. And, you know, when you come up against a problem, you know, I did a lot of little effects and, you know, the credit scroll and the character animations at the end. And, you know, it's like you go to the Google University and figure something out. So we were very resourceful. We had to get very clever because we just didn't have the budget to really do what a studio would be able to do. But I think what we delivered is about as close to studio grade as an indie film that took on a fantasy adventure could possibly get.
Yeah, I want to mirror what Jay said, which is it's sometimes better to not know how hard things are going to be
Right.
and just go for it and believe and almost trick yourself into thinking, well, we're almost done. It's almost there, because you set out to do something very ambitious and you don't want to give up and you don't want to let down your team and everybody who's believing in you and believing in the project. So, and I'm so grateful that, because I worked on a lot of projects, and you really are only as strong as your team. And when you have a group of people that all share the same vision and commitment to seeing it through, that to me winds up being the greatest lesson and greatest blessing. And we absolutely had that in spades. We had a core group of people, and nobody gave up and nobody had weirdness. It was just, let's keep going. We're going to do it. We're going to get there. And so I'm just so grateful for that.
I think we really got lucky with this project because everyone on this project is genuinely just the coolest, kindest person you could ever meet. And that's rare, I think, you know, in the entertainment industry to just fall into something where people are just genuinely kind, good-hearted people. And so, I don't know, I think for me, I just learned that I'm way more tough and way more resilient than I knew before this, because sure, there were absolutely days where I think every single one of us felt like quitting, because there were some really hard, you know, hard things to overcome, but none of us ever did that. None of us ever did, because we all really, at the end of the day, love and care about one another. And so, you know, even if we wanted to like bow out at moments, we weren't going to do that to our other friends and teammates. So,
and you know, we did a lot of
yeah.
bonding. I mean, we made the
Yeah.
effort every night after filming. We would all go have a nice dinner together, reflect on what we were able to do that day, and you know, our team member on camera, Matt. I mean, we enjoyed watching him take pleasure in figuring out what the dessert was going to be for the evening.
Yeah.
You know, it was really fun for us to all get together and, you know, take off, and maybe not always take off our costumes, walking into a restaurant half dressed like a knight or a pirate, but really just spending the quality time with one another off the set. And, you know, we're all friends anyway, so we would spend time with one another, you know, regardless of the film. So yeah,
Right.
that really worked well for us.
Oh my gosh. Quirky, epic, and fun.
Oh, you took my 3 words.
Oh,
I would say breathtaking, ambitious, and adventurous.
You guys took all my words. So, okay, so I'll go with romantic, mystical, and supernatural.
There we go.
nice.
All 6 words combined. So there you go.
That's right. That's our log line.
9.
Just
Okay,
mix them
good.
all up.
That's your log line. Okay, so where can people find it? Social media platforms, everything they need to know, and also again about the music track. So give us the 411.
We have a pretty easy way to find us on most any platform, Empire Queen Movie. So our website's empirequeenmovie.com. Our Instagram handle's Empire Queen Movie. The only difference with Twitter is Empire Queen Movie, but without the E. I think we exceeded their character limit. But bottom line is, if you put in Empire Queen Movie, you will be able to find us and link to us in one way or another.
That's right. We're currently on Prime Video. We are also on Vimeo OTT, which gives us a lot of international exposure. We will soon be on Apple TV, Google Play, and Vudu, and those are kind of the one-stop shopping for us. We're just going to continue our reach and expansion into different territories. But being with Prime Video has been a wonderful blessing for us, and we're very happy about that. That was our first deal, if you will.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing more work from all of you, and thank you so much for bringing Empire Queen to all of us. And Jason, don't hurt yourself in the next film, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to try that too.
I make no promises.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you, guys. Have a
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Bye.